welcome to an all-new episode of Figure It Out, the show where we mix our love for everything in geekdom with our love for everything figures. I am your host, Juwan. Join with me as always, it's Pete. What's up, Pete?
What's up, buddy? Good to be here. Salud.
Absolutely. And look, I want to say this now so I don't forget. We want to give a massive shout out to JD, who got married today. Shout out to you, JD. We are very proud of you, man, and all the happiness that you're about to receive, a lifetime of happiness. People always search for one, and you found one. So congrats, buddy. Congrats.
Many happy returns to all the both of you. Salud, JD and Glenda.
Absolutely. We love you, JD. Because I know if I did not say that then, I would have gotten like an hour in.
No, you're better off. Get it.
Completely.
It's always good to do the toast and the dedication in the beginning.
Right. Exactly.
When you know people are listening and haven't like turned it off because we bored the shit out of them.
100% true. So JD, congrats, man. We love you. Things I got today was from the multiverse, in the Multiverse of Madness line, Doctor Strange. Now, this is what they added. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I could find the other one. Okay. So this is the one from the Spider-Man line. This is the one from the Spider-Man line. The cape is removable because it has the peg in the back, and he only moves like this. He doesn't move any more than that. But to be fair, it's Doctor Strange. He doesn't
go side to side?
Nope. Nothing.
No, I mean, like, there's no pivot.
Oh, yeah. Very slight pivot. Very slight pivot. Okay.
Gotcha.
So this one's made more structurally fundamental. There's a few things I would change on this, though, to make it, like, perfect. But this dumb motherfucker here, the cape just kind of sits like that. That's it. Could easily come off.
Yeah.
See? I don't like that. But what I do like is that he bends like this. So as you see, he's able to bend like that. Here's the only problem. You do too much movement, they don't have him solid here. So actually, it's actually staying now, but it pops, the middle separates off its ball point, its ball joint. But the bending in this is a lot better. He's a lot slimmer. As you can see, he's kind of husky here for this one. He's a lot slimmer here for this one. The eye
built up more in the chest there.
Right. The Eye of Agamotto for this one is a removable piece. But for Multiverse of Madness, it's kind of brought up more, and it's just right there under the neck. I'm completely fine with that. Some of the accessories for this is different hands. One of them mainly being, and I think this is Wong's hand, but one of them being for the magical runes, for his spells.
I thought that shit was a symbol, man. I thought it was like a drum symbol. That's cool though. Like how I like how his hand, you know, it looks like he's casting the spell,
right?
And it's not just like a you know, not to discount G.I. Joe, but like the kung fu grip or something, like he's holding it.
He's actually holding it like he's doing it.
Yeah.
So that's one. The second one is Wong.
Well, before you get into that, do you think it's possible that we might see more action from the cape itself, and that's why it's so removable, like it just flies right off and on and around itself, rather than have like a peg in it where if it was flying around, maybe it would take the kid out of the imagination, you know what I mean? Am I looking too far into that?
No, I'll say yes and no. And the reason why I say that is in Doctor Strange, Infinity War, and in No Way Home, he does utilize the cape a lot.
Right.
Like a lot. So the reason why I said, that's the reason why I say yes, that you're on the right path. But the reason why part of me says no is, to me, what makes it so cool is it being on him, the aesthetic of seeing it on him. And when it just drapes like that and any little movement can knock the thing off, it's like, well, that's not really how that works. The cloak on him, like, you can't just rip that off of him or just take it off of him. Like, it's on. It's on.
I can practically guarantee that there's going to be like Etsy sellers selling posable capes, because I saw them do that with with the Mortal Kombat Spawn.
Mhm.
and like having his own like super flowy cape.
I would actually love that, to be honest with you. So
It'll run
anyone
you
out there that does that, do it.
it'll run you about $40. I've seen a few of them and I saved them.
I'll do that. Yeah.
I'll find them for you because I was trying to find that Spawn figure, like the original Mortal Kombat one, because I just
Mhm.
wanted an updated Spawn because I didn't get the McFarlane one, you know, that Kickstarter one,
Right.
which I kind of kicked myself over. But I don't know, I like the Mortal Kombat one a little better. So,
Bro,
but
I
I
feel
slept on
you.
it for too long.
I feel you on missing out on Kickstarters. You know, I'm still pissed off about not getting that fucking Mandalorian shit. That shit will always haunt me. That will always fucking haunt me.
Which one? Oh, that the Razor Crest.
The Razor Crest, yeah. Because now that shit runs for $1,000, and I'm like, any Hooters. Next up is Wong.
I like Wong with the sword. That man, that face looks so good. That Hasbro thing where they laser etch the face.
Skin. Yep. So that's Wong there.
Good.
And Wong also comes with his own magical hands, if I can get it in there. His own magical hands.
Cool.
So
they should have like some flames for the sword or something.
I thought that would have been really dope, to be honest with you. Just something to give it a little bit more life. Because here's the biggest problem: we've never seen Wong use a sword.
Right, yeah, that's a new accessory altogether.
Right, so it's like, well, all right. And I will say this: he bends better than that other Doctor Strange I showed you.
Mm.
So it's like he fully bends here. Now I'm usually
go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I usually don't like this being plastic. I like if they start making this like maybe like how I always wanted Batman capes to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To where it's
like flexible rubber.
Right,
cloth.
where I could just move the legs a little bit more. Because on this figure, if you move the legs too much, like outward, it's a ball point here. So it'll pop off. The leg will pop off. It'll go right back on, but it'll pop off. So that's my biggest issue with that. But no, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, like, it would be cool to see the actor whose name I believe is also Wong.
Yeah.
Just to see him do like some kind of kung fu Chinese broadsword like kata moves in a new film. I think that would be dope.
Look, we might see it. We might see it.
I had no idea this dude came with a sword. I'm hoping there's a good reason for that.
Right. I think there's a shot in the trailer where he has you know the name of it. I don't. But it's like a chain with like a blade on the end.
Oh, like the scorpion shit.
Yes. So in the trailer, when they're fighting, as we know it to be Shumagorath, you see him kind of like twirling it and like spinning it towards Shumagorath, even though that's not the actual character's name.
I know, some legal bullshit or something. Right. That's why every lawyer should be killed.
Right. Throw the law with it too. Take lawyers and law. Just throw it out. But yeah, so he's going to use more weapons, which I'm very curious about, because I'm like, if I had magic, I would never actually physically pick up a weapon. I would just use my magic.
Well, don't never say never, man. There's a very fucking powerful D&D class of Magic Knights. So
really,
yeah.
Oh well, then fuck me. Well, then I'm sorry.
Magic use weapons, imbuing your weapon with magic. It's all sorts of stuff.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Well,
I never even played D&D, but I played my fair share of role-playing games, and I do love a good Magic Knight.
Well, shit. I'll take a magical sword then. Hell yeah. And last but definitely not least, the newcomer herself, America Chavez.
Very simplistic looking figure, and I appreciate the jean jacket.
Yep. She is accurate, head to toe. She is accurate. Detail of the character here.
It's a really cool denim jacket. It looks denim.
Yes.
It's cool.
I will say I was very disappointed that we didn't get like a star that came with it, because obviously we know she could break through portals and whatnot. So just a star that kind of like shatters to kind of show like you're going through another dimension. Mm-hmm. Just something to kind of bring out these figures a little bit, especially figures that like I think if you're Marvel Legends, the figures that they have the most fun with is like when you're doing Hawkeye, when you're doing Black Widow, when you're doing Iron Man, Cap, Falcon. Because you could put so many gadgets and hands and removable heads and whatnot. But when you do a character like America Chavez, who can kind of just travel through dimensions, it's like, well, we can't really utilize that in accessories. So here's America Chavez. And it's like, For some
I
of
don't know a
us,
lot about the character. I just remember hating her original like series because it was just so stupidly written. Like
they did upon that. They did approve upon that. They did somewhat reboot it, and it is a more interesting story.
it wasn't the fact that it wasn't the character or anything else, and it has nothing to do with being like woke or any stupid thing like that.
Right.
It was simply the fact that like that you have a lesbian Latina or Latinx character that literally reminded you of that fact every other page.
Yeah.
For the entirety of the first book. Like, okay, I get it. We don't need to be like, I have never felt that a book shoved something in my face more than that book. And I'm not like, that's not a disparagement to the character. It was a poorly written comic book. And I'm sure that the character in different hands would be fantastic. But that was why I never took anything to the character itself.
I'm with you because that was my biggest issue about Supergirl. Like, okay, you have an agenda, but here's the thing. The purpose of the agenda is just to teach, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not to just bludgeon you over the head with it. So all you do is you state your point, right? You remain consistent, and that's it. Like, you don't have to just be so weird about or just overtly extra about certain things. So it's just like, bro, okay, we get it.
Right.
I understand. I get it.
I don't need the character to be cool because she's a Latinx lesbian. I need the character to be cool because she's cool and she just happens to be a Latinx lesbian. That's it.
And that's why I always said at some point, Pete, we will get to a point where being of the LGBTQ community or having polka dots on your face, it's just normal. To where we don't have to make a big announcement that someone's playing a character like that, or
I've said it before. I'll say it again. When they first announced Miles Morales, I thought that was going to be the stupidest gimmick ever portrayed upon the comic book world. You're taking the most popular character in the world, Spider-Man, arguably, maybe Batman, but they teeter-totter. And now
they're right there. They're neck and neck. They're 100% neck and neck. And
now you're making the new one half black and half Hispanic in New York City. Right. That screams gimmick on every single level. And I was wrong. They made Miles cool because he was another teenage Spider-Man engaged in all of the fun things that made Spider-Man fun as a teenager and getting used to his powers and trying to hide it from his friends and his family and everything. It was an amazing story and an amazing character who just happened to be mixed race.
Yep.
That's how you do a fucking character. He's not cool because he's black and Hispanic. He's cool because he's fucking Spider-Man.
Yep. I 100% agree with you. And that's why it's just important to kind of just know your audience, and just be comfortable with it. Like if you said, hey, Spider-Man's black and Hispanic, you don't have to keep beating me over the head with it. People will either enjoy
it or hate it. They never once did in that book.
That's it.
And like I was never so happy to be wrong in my life because I've loved Miles ever since. And I was like, yo, card carrying member of the Miles Morales fan club. Like I was completely wrong, and I'm happy to admit that. On the other hand, there was a Teen Titans one where they were writing a homosexual character, and I question whether the writer has ever met a homosexual man in his life because it was so stereotypical that I'm like, are you?
Which, by the way,
basing this on?
I've always said this, Pete. I've never met anyone like that ever. Like ever.
I don't even remember the character. That's how forgettable it was, except for the fact that it was like so, like it was something. It was like you know what the fuck it was? It was like something out of the Birdcage, which was an intentional comedy. Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, hilarious fucking comedy. But that's what this character was, and I'm like, I've worked in fashion. I count more homosexual men as my friends than probably a lot of people. But like, and none of them have ever acted like that character. So I'm like, have you
never seen it? Like I said, I always say
you've never met one in your life, and you're just writing
never met one in my life like that. And our wording might be a little off, but we're just saying.
No, like the writer himself is like he's never met a gay man in his life, and he's writing his character like you're trying to make the character cool.
You know what he did, Pete? He watched Will and Grace, and then did the character. That's what he did. Yep.
That's fucking who he was. That was who he was.
Yep. That's what it is.
In print.
Yep. He watched Will and Grace and then just said, "All right, all the homework I needed. Boom. Put it on paper. Put it on paper. Put it in
All
there.
the homework I needed.
Put
Precisely.
it in there." No, so that's all I have so far. I possibly have a Dormammu coming. I actually need to check on. I pre-ordered the Winter Soldier, but the Winter Soldier
new one?
Yes. The fully posable,
cool figure.
numerous weapons, removable heads. But I haven't heard anything back on where the fuck he is. So that would be awesome.
Pulse is very slow to ship lately. Very slow.
And let me say, my pre-orders with GameStop.
Oh.
Pre-orders with GameStop. They said the figure was available 90 different times, and I've not seen it once. So, would just kind of like to know what's going on, GameStop. Kind of spend money on these things. We would like to actually have them, is all I'm saying. But what you got, Pete?
Just arrived. Well, actually, before I get to the toy, I'm very proud of my good buddy, Mikey Sutton, who on the Pete's Basement Show, we always got all of our scoops and stuff from. And Mikey set out about 1.5 to 2 years ago to break into the comic book industry. Obviously, he was in it because he was a scooper. He had all the inside info that we broadcast. But he wanted to actually write comics. He wanted to make comics like any of us would. And he did it. By God, he really did it. He came out with his own comic called Dreamwalker. I'm trying to get that without the glare on it. There we go.
Oh, wow. And hot. Good job, Mikey.
And it is based on Kate. Kate Valdez. Almost called her Kate Upton, but that's where my brain's going. Filipina actress Kate Valdez, and she's just absolutely fantastic. Mikey's been campaigning for Kate to be Wave, the character Wave in the MCU for many years now, and I mean she's just an absolutely beautiful girl. She's very, very sweet, very very nice, very kind of just bubbly, happy-go-lucky. In any of the videos I've seen, I think she'd be a great addition to the MCU. So yes, Kate for Wave, and check out this variant cover from Natalie Sanders, whose artwork, I absolutely love this woman's artwork, but it's like the House of Secrets Swamp Thing homage, where the girl's actually she's sitting there and the monster's coming in through the window, which would have been through the door, which would have been Swamp Thing.
Right.
So,
I fucking love that. And the detail to her is it's so goddamn crisp. Like that looks real as hell.
If anybody out there has not discovered Natalie Sanders' work yet, look her up. She's fantastic. Natalie without the E, so it just ends in an I at the end.
Yep.
Super nice woman. I met her at a comic book convention once. She signed some of my G.I. Joe books. She's done a lot. That's how I found her. She did a lot of when they made the female Snake Eyes. She did a lot of variants for that, and like Baroness and Scarlet and everything on the cover. Her work is awesome, and she's a painter. All of these paintings, excuse me, we take for granted when we look at colors on comics, that they're just done in computer, lickety split,
right,
finished.
It's
her
not
work is all oil on canvas that they shrink down to make the covers.
Damn, bro, that's hours of work.
Yes.
Do that shit?
Yes. This woman is super talented. Like I saw some of the originals at her booth and I'm just like, holy shit, this is oil paint. Like I had no idea until I seen it in person. Super, super talented.
Damn.
And arrived today, one of my pre-orders, and I cannot wait to get this bad boy out of the box.
Let's see it.
Zeta Toys.
Oh my God.
They call it Superatron, but it is Superion. And this caps off my list of combiners that I absolutely needed. This is the shiny version. And oh my God, it's really big and really heavy. So I'm kind of leaning it on my chest right now.
Pete, put it down. Put it down, Pete. Don't crush yourself. But holy shit. Damn, I need to get into Transformers like that, bro. God damn.
I don't know what started it, man. But it flooded in with like the G.I. Joe Classifieds and the Transformers Masterpiece. Masterpiece was first though, because Classifieds is only like the last 2 years. But man, like I don't know. I've been masterpiecing for quite a while now, probably about the last 4 or 5 years. And it's just, they're so much fun, but they're so complicated to transform. It's like once and done. I'm never touching it again because it's like I feel everything's gonna break at the slightest turn.
That's my biggest issue because, like, you would think a Transformer is made with the idea of transforming it more.
No, not now, not anymore. The old ones, yeah. These cannot take a beating. I assure you, they are made for the shelf.
The way they make these, they tell you like either buy two that you can have one as the vehicle, one as the fully transformed, right, or just leave it as the vehicle or transform it, but don't just keep going back and forth because it takes one piece to throw off the whole transformation to where you're just like, fuck. Now it's stuck as like, you know, if you have Optimus, it's stuck as a truck now. Like I can't even transform the motherfucker. So yeah, be careful with your Transformers, guys, that you get out there.
Yeah,
the damn shit.
Pretty much they are made for just like put them on the shelf and that's that. And like I find if I update a figure, like I bought a newer Optimus Prime a while back, and I showed off on one of our first shows. Actually, it was the TEO1, and it was like super cartoon accurate. I do have an MP10. I never bought an MP44 because it was just not worth the money. But like the MP10, now at this point, I can transform that one back to a truck and have Optimus next to his truck mode on display. And like you said, one's one, one's the other. I'm done.
That's it. Can't go back and forth between the both of them. Definitely can't. All right. Well, we got some. I wanted to do like a Q&A where people would send in questions and we would answer them. Oh, let's bring in Joel.
Okay.
Let's bring in Joel. I sung his name and then he didn't show up. He hung up.
Yeah.
How dare you? First of all, you got a haircut, didn't you?
I had a haircut.
Are you shaved?
I shaved.
That's what you did, you dirty bastard. Don't you shave that pretty face. That's one. Two, you're supposed to wear the Spider-Man Knicks hat all the time, Joel. That's in your contract.
Switch it up.
It's in your contract. No, so we were getting into, Joel, like a few Q&As and like one or two topics, and we're getting out of here. But I did want to show you really quickly what I showed off to Pete that came in today. America Chavez. It did the jacket very accurately. I was telling Pete, I wish she kind of came with like a star or something that was like breakable to kind of showcase her like breaking through other dimensions. But I was telling Pete, when Marvel Legends does characters like this that aren't like Captain America or Winter Soldier or Falcon that don't have the accessories, they make it very bland. Like it's just like they're here. That's it. It's like do something. Like have
still charge you $18.
And they still charge you the same, and it's like, all right, come on, bro. No, that sucks. This Doctor Strange is more slim. And Pete, I actually didn't show you this difference, but his chest, the design of his chest on this suit from Multiverse of Madness is different than the line that we got from Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, that one has his comic book.
Right. I know what you mean. I just say logo. Yeah. That's what I keep it as. So this is a full look, Joel. That's Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
And then Wong.
Hey, does Wong not look a little bit thinner to you?
He looks 100% thinner. Oh, but look what he also comes with, Joel. Me and Pete love this. We hope to see more of this in the movie. Has a sword.
Got a sword?
Yeah. Has his own sword.
I saw him using some type of whip in the movie, in the trailer.
Pete, wasn't I telling you that, Pete?
Yeah, you did say that.
I was telling him, Joel, I'm very curious because we've never really seen Wong have to go all out in using magic. So I'm very curious why is Wong using weapons? We've never seen Strange utilize weapons. Obviously, in the first movie, we saw him throw things at Caecilius. But never like, all right, I'm bringing a sword to this battle. You know what I'm saying? So very curious about Wong. Does he just go, you know what? Magic ain't working. I'm going to stab a motherfucker today. Like, y'all getting stabbed up. Like, I've had enough of this, okay? All right. So we're getting into some questions. First question is, And this is from listener Jim. These questions are from listener Jim. Shout out to listener Jim. His first question is, will we ever get another Justice League movie?
Of course not. Of course we will.
The answer is always yes. I just think they might be a little bit more hesitant on rushing team up movies going forward.
I think it's going to be a totally different Justice League. I mean,
sure.
going forward, we've got they're focusing on Batgirl or Batwoman, whatever in the theater. They're focusing on
Supergirl.
Thank you, Supergirl. Couldn't come up with it. And there's another one too.
So,
Black Canary's out there. She'll be part of it to a degree. Obviously the mainstays. Let's just eliminate the mainstays. The ones that we know, not the ones that we think are coming, the one that we know. Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash. Those are the
you're gonna get everyone but Batman. I mean, Batman's gonna be in it. It's just not gonna be Ben Affleck. And then Superman, it's really up in the air. So that's really
that's what we're
sitting here waiting for.
That's a hell of a pun, Joel. I'm just gonna let you know that.
Huh?
Like, well, the whole Superman thing is really up in the air.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hell of a butt. But that's why I left out Superman, Batman, and Cyborg, because those are up in the air. So like, I don't want to. Like, yeah, we're gonna get Superman. I don't know what's happening with it. I don't even want to fucking think about it. Batman comes out next
But that
week.
cameo in Peacemaker definitely makes me think that it's not as bad as I thought.
At least we got them two.
Oh, speaking of that, Pete, really quickly before we go any further, Joel's here. You can give your thoughts again for the Peacemaker finale.
Yeah, we were discussing it before we hit the filming, but I love Peacemaker. I absolutely loved it. It was a completely irreverent show. The whole thing was silly from start to finish. The cameos were fantastic at the end. I was very happy to see that. Just John Cena got a hell of a comedic delivery. I think he's great. And you wouldn't expect it out of a big lug like that, like just a big old muscle-bound oaf. And he's really, really funny. Vigilante kind of stole the show, being like, sometimes I wanted to fucking punch him in the face, like, you're an idiot, but I can't help but laugh at you. Like, I told Juwan, like, we had a real moment, like, where we just killed Peacemaker's dad and a bunch of other Nazis, and like, you're ruining it. Like, what, dude? What?
Oh man, no.
And he was just so weird, and he really. Like, he reminded me so much of like high school Pete that I really I hated having that mirror up in front of me at the same time. Like,
look,
with the big ass glasses.
Were you a sociopath in high school?
I'm very much a sociopath now, I'm telling you. But
it's why me and Pete are friends.
I don't value human life. I like the people I like, but everybody else can fucking kick rocks.
Like 10 people I can safely say I really enjoy them.
My friend bought me a t-shirt that I have yet to wear on this show, but it's me to a T. I like whiskey and maybe like 4 people.
That's it. That's really honestly, I like my figures and like 6 people, honestly. 10 was a stretch. 6. 2 of them are here. 2 of them are here. So that's 2 out of the 6. That's it.
And you know what? I don't have to see you guys in person. So there's very rarely, I'm not going to get tired of you guys because I can just talk to you here.
This works. Yeah. I thought before the whole COVID thing, as much as me and Joel saw each other, I swore that Joel at some point was going to go, I can't keep doing this. You like, you can't come over here anyway. You just have to stop. But he kept saying, like, all right, let's hang out. And I'm like, wow.
This is the kind of friendship I strive for because, like, I don't even have to have pants on right now. It's fantastic.
I currently don't have pants on, so that's awesome. But
I was wondering what them red trunks were, man. I've seen that shit.
I got a tattoo on my ass, Pete. Who cares? No.
What? Is it in the shape of Whistler's mother?
Yes. But Whistler's mother now, today, not then, today. No, but yes, to answer your question, listener Jim, we do believe there will be another Justice League movie. Because to me, if there wasn't going right to go full circle, if there wasn't going to be, there would just be no continuity in DC right now, and clearly there is. There's a massive continuity in DC. They would have just blew it up and started over.
Right. It seems like they're tightening things up. They just refuse to tell us any type of plan. They're just gonna go with it.
Look. There was a point where they kept announcing movies and then scrapping them, and we kept begging them to stop opening their mouth unless it's filming. So now we're in a position where we're just
That's
like, all
what they're
right,
doing.
well, like you could say something. Like you don't have to say as much as you did,
You know,
but like
Hey.
something.
doing that, you have to like keep your mouth shut until it's done. Because
Yeah.
we all had that friend in school or growing up that you hung out with that would talk mad shit. That was like, oh, I'm getting this game, I'm getting this comic or this toy, I'm getting this, I'm doing that. You ain't, and you don't do shit. You
Yep.
never did shit, Billy. Not a fucking thing. You're a fucking liar.
There's a Billy somewhere from Pete's life that's like, my ears are ringing. Like, yeah, fuck you, Billy. That's why. So we do believe a Justice League movie will come. This is a two-parter, one for me, Pete, one for you. What gave you the idea to form GVN in Pete's basement? Geek Vibes Nation was a concept I had like going on like 11 years ago. Where it was this guy Angelo I worked with. And we would always talk like Marvel. It was when the Flash season 1 had first come out, and we were just like, I wish we could like talk about this, but like so other people can hear it, right? Like, and just hear our thoughts of stuff like this. It didn't work out with Angelo. I went with someone else. It ended up not working out with them. I have the core group I have now, but my main concept of creating GVN was always just a safe space for people to just go and just geek out. Like you could say like, oh, Cyborg's my favorite hero, and no one would come on there and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, who the fuck likes Cyborg? You could just come on there and then you'll find like 80,000 other people love Cyborg the same way you do. And now you guys are friends. You're talking about Cyborg. You feel safe. No one's making fun of you. So that was always my dream of Geek Vibes Nation, was just a safe space that I could say like the most awkward geek shit, but someone else out there felt the same. And now we're friends and we can just gush over it all day, every day. So that was why I came up with, what gave me the idea to form Geek Vibes Nation. Pete, how did Pete's Basement come along?
Pretty much the same, in the same vein that, it was set up to be a place where everybody can just get together and talk shop. But it wasn't my idea. The name kind of happened by accident, because here was where we all used to hang out when we were teenagers. But the idea was our director, Roger, who would notice that when at his job, there was Adam and Ramon. And whenever, people would be together, they'd kind of huddle together, talk comics for a little while, and then, branch off. And whenever we were at a gathering, it would be me and my boy Steve, also Roger's friend, and we kind of huddle ourselves off, whether it was at a bar or a party, whatever, and we talk comics for a little while and then break off, So there was always that moment where you notice, like, what if I got those two guys together and those two guys, put it all together? And he called me one day. He's like, Pete, you want to do a podcast about comics? I'm like, yeah, what's a podcast? And he had to explain to me. It was 2007. It was December of 2007. I'd never heard the term podcast. And he was like, Liz, it's like an internet TV show. I'm like, okay. And, at the time, there really weren't that many. There was iFanboy, which is a term I hate. I don't dislike the people at iFanboy, but I don't like the term fanboy. I find it offensive. Like,
I agree.
You can call me a nerd, you can call me a dweeb, a herb, a geek, whatever. You call me a fanboy, and I might have to fucking chop you to the goddamn throat. But it started out with just to be a place where you could go and just talk shop like a regular person. Like it was completely uncensored. It was like, fuck this, stupid shit, that, blah blah blah, assholes, and. It was like barroom talk. We were getting drunk. We were talking comics, and that was that. Well, two of us got drunk, and the other two guys didn't. The formula was kind of like fat guy, Italian guy, fat guy, Italian guy, and it was also drunk guy, sober guy, drunk guy, sober guy. So somewhere in there is a formula for a semi-successful podcast, and through mostly stupidity and a lot of tenacity, we just didn't stop. Like we just kept going. Probably if it weren't my name in it, I might have stopped years ago, but it's my name now. People are like, "What's up with Pete's Basement?" I'm like, "I'm still going, slowly but surely." As a matter of fact, we're doing a show on Thursday. We're going to do an interview with Mikey Sutton talking about the comics. So we will actually be. I'm still deciding if it's going to be live. I'm not promising because I do like to edit stuff. So I don't think I'm going to do live. I just don't like it.
Well, we need an episode live at some point, Pete.
I would love to do a live show, but it's got to be something more like this where we could show off stuff. Because if we're just talking about stuff and making references to shit, that little OCD in my brain, like the little fucking lightning starts to fire, the hamster gets on the wheel.
I gotta,
and it tells me, "Put a picture up, asshole, put a picture up." And then I'm at this fucking computer for another 12 hours in Final Cut. So
yeah. No.
You know how it is.
Damn, I fucking hate editing. Jesus.
I hate editing. I hate it. I would like to pay 3 little people in a trench coat to do it. Like, are you one person or are you 3 little people in a trench coat?
Or look,
like, yes.
we don't even have to do that. If butterflies are real, just come consume someone and just type all day.
Oh, those
butterflies from Peacemaker, yeah, just consume.
I'm like, butterflies are real though. Right?
Yeah, out of context, it's like, wait, what? Did he just?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I mean, look, my most proud moments of GVN are moments of I met Joel through GVN.
Oh, cool.
I met Pete through GVN, which no one knows this. Pete probably doesn't even know this, but I looked up to Pete's Basement, 2011, 2012.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm dead serious because I remember when we were talking about not even then. I'm sorry, 2015, 16. When the idea was even being talked about of doing something. I remember I followed somebody, and they were a fan of yours, and I remember watching you guys live once, and I was just like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to do, where I'm just sitting around having fun with some of my friends, just talking about some really cool geek nerdy shit. So
isn't it funny the people you meet, like some of these people that I know through the show, like I've never even met in person, and like the occasion that you do get to meet them in person, like, yo, I'm gonna be at this convention, y'all see you there, right, and whatever. Yeah, that's really cool. That is so fucking
freaking
cool.
Awesome. It's freaking awesome, man. I mean, look, I met Joel. You actually came to my house, you and Vic. I don't even remember why.
You said thank you, and then I left.
That's essentially exactly how that went. And then
no, it was for a show.
I think Vic invited me over to your house because you guys were doing your Geek Minded podcast.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And then Vic stopped coming, and you were just like, "Hey, did you come over?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And then it just snowballed into what you see today. So that's literally as simple.
It's so funny how that worked out because we were working with 2 different people, and then they started working together, and then we started working.
That's funny. Exactly that's how it works, man. Like, somebody will introduce you to somebody else, and then that person will come over for the show and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna bring this cat," and like, "All right, cool." And you just meet more and more and more people.
No, I mean, look, I always say Joel is why I continue to do Geek Vibes Nation, because he just
got way too many subsidiaries. You can't stop now.
I mean, well, yes,
you're stuck now.
I've tried, but no, I cannot.
Yeah, no, you're stuck now.
But no, Joel kind of
welcome to hell.
He kind of brought the fun to it again. Like it's like when you move and you don't have any friends, and then you meet that one guy that's just like, you know what? Maybe it won't suck to hang around here for however long we're gonna live here. So he made it fun again. So that's why, because I know at least at the end of the day, I can just talk geek shit with Joel, right? I don't have to be on the platform. You know what I mean?
I did not know that you guys met through GVN. Like, the banter that you guys have, I assumed you just knew each other since like childhood or something.
Nope.
That's funny.
Nope.
Yeah, we
That's exceptional.
Yeah, I mean, it grew because I actually needed help moving. And he helped me move, and that's it. I mean, he was
You don't
already
even drink. What the fuck did you get paid in? Pizza and soda?
No, okay, so you know
More
what it
or
is.
less.
You know what it is. I'm not like a big friend kind of guy, right? Like as Joel, even now, I'd rather just be alone, right? So like it was a different kind of friendship with Joel. So like I never really had a friend that was like, I could really use your help.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I was friends with Joel. So I'm like, well, shit, he's asking me for help. There's no way I'm gonna say no. So I'm like, yeah, sure. And it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you guys, the only reason I've ever watched one episode of Game of Thrones is because I helped Joel move. We were watching the final season, and Joel was saying something, and then he was just like, all right, so like, I think you were like, who's your favorite character? And I was like, oh, I've never watched Game of Thrones. And he was just like, I'll fucking kill you if you don't start watching now. I was just like, all right, well, Game of Thrones, here I come. And I binged it, and I was just like, fuck, this is great television, man. So we just bonded over so many different things. I met his family. So it just grew. But yeah, no, the friendship we have today, no, we've known each other for a while now, but it wasn't like we've known each other for forever.
Yeah, no, I really thought it was like forever. And I mean, you two hammerheads got me watching Teen Titans. So there you go. I'm on season 5 now. Like I never fucking touched this show ever.
No, but I mean, like having someone like Joel is always great because my hate for everything was at an 100%. And then Joel started telling me, hey, Juwan, what if you didn't hate things so strongly? And I was just like, I never thought about it like that. Like I never thought about what would the world look like if
I was like, you're not allowed to watch shit without me at this point. Like I can't have you form an opinion at all by yourself because then it just gets all weird.
Yo, Pete, you're laughing, but he legit said that to me one day where he's just like, you know what? No more. You can't watch things without me. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, because you'll start to form an opinion that I don't think you truly believe in. You need someone to talk sense into you. And I was just like, that's stupid. And then we saw something, and then he was talking to me, and I'm like, well, I never saw it like that. Oh, he's fucking right. So we've almost seen every major movie together.
I can't tell you how many times he says something. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then like, I'm like, what? How did you see it that way? I don't get it.
That is so fucking true. He's not lying. He's not lying. Because I will quickly go to hate. If there's one thing I don't like, I'll go, you know what? Throw this whole fucking movie in the garbage. Throw the director in the garbage. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday.
Strong emotion. We gotta be careful throwing that word around. I hate this, hate that. There's enough hate on Twitter. Like we don't need it at our space. You know what I mean?
I did used to vehemently hate a lot of shit. Now today it's only Anthony Mackie, but before there was
I'm trying to talk about it. He's
I appreciate, like Joel is mad Jedi. Like he's like, you don't hate. Hate is too strong. Dismiss the hate. And I'm sitting here like, yes, let the hate.
See, Pete, that's why I need the balance. That's why whenever I hate something, I know I can safely come to Pete. I know whenever I go to Joel, I have to calm myself and then approach it differently. But whenever I need to just get some hateful shit out, hey, Pete, Pete, come here. I hated this. And Pete's like, you know what? I fucking hated it too, Juwan. And I'm like, yes. And then I'll call up Joel, and Joel's like, it was all right. You know, it wasn't that bad. It was okay. It had some redeemable elements. And I'm just like, I am so glad I got everything out with Pete. Because if I had brought this to Joel would have just been like, okay, end podcast, Juwan. End it now. You will not ruin my night. End it. So I definitely appreciate that. A few more questions, and Pete, I want to talk this Craven movie, the new casting we got for Craven, then we'll get out of here. I know, but the character, I think
I didn't even hear about it. So you're gonna surprise me with it. So
okay,
all right, but I'm enjoying the questions.
Good.
All right, so the last question is, he's
you guys
asking
talk to Blade casting too.
Yeah, we could talk to Blade casting too. It was a small casting, Pete, not a major. Like we don't know who he's playing.
Apparently a major role. But we don't know who.
Right.
But it's good to speculate. Who can he be playing?
I actually have no idea. I didn't even give it any thought because I didn't even know, because I don't click on deadline. Like when Kanan posted, I just go, okay. All Kanan said was he was casted. But if you actually click the link, it'll tell you like for a major role or this or that. I let Joel learn me about all those things. I never read. But one of the last two questions are you a Patrick Ewing fan? Because I am a huge fan. I'm a Patrick
No, he did
Ewing
not
fan.
choose him.
Right. I'm a Patrick Ewing fan just solely off of being a Knicks fan. That's it. I got nothing else to add. I mean, yes, does that layup haunt me like the Roy Hibbert block on Melo every day of my life? But yes, I am a Patrick Ewing fan.
I was a 90s Knicks fan. So as such, I hate Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan could literally fall on a fucking bed of broken glass and I would do a little dance of joy like Balky Bartakamus. So that aside, I do acknowledge the fact that he's one of the greatest players to ever grace the game. On the other hand, he didn't need any fucking help from any of the referees that never called a fucking foul or travel on the man. So fuck him. Anyway, I'm digressing. Patrick Ewing was amazing to me. And I was a really fortunate kid. My dad was a claims manager. So he used to basically just handle insurance and he used to give out cases to lawyers and stuff. And the lawyers would be grateful and they would give him, it's like, well, I mean, he's fucking dead now. It doesn't really matter. They would give him gifts. They're like, hey, thanks for those cases. Here's a little something in return. I think that's illegal now. I think they have like ethics fucking conferences against shit like that. But it was the fucking 80s and 90s. So fuck off. My dad took me to many Knicks games. We had varying seats all over the place. But one fucking time, I was literally on the floor right behind the Knicks bench. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I was maybe 12, 13 years old. I was still in grammar school. And when they came out, they did all the introductions and everything with the lights and the whatever. And Patrick Ewing walks over to the seat. And I'm literally like, right there. And I just go.
That was just
like this man, right? he never ended.
That was just his penis.
That was just,
yet, right? That was.
It was like right there. Did you see the Cat Williams shit when he talks about being friends with Shaq? It's right there,
like this.
right there. But like, yo, I'm fucking 5'6" now. So like then I was even shorter, maybe 5 foot, and like this man just did not end. I'm like, whoa, you can't. A human being that's literally 2.5 feet taller than you is a ridiculous thing to witness.
Right.
Unbelievable. And so, yes, in the long story short, I'm a huge Patrick Ewing fan. I don't really follow basketball no more. Most of the knowledge I get from Joel these days. But I still am and will always be a Knicks fan. And if they're ever in the playoffs, it'll get my attention.
They were last year. Oh, look at that. Well, look at that. Joel, you are obviously a Patrick Ewing fan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I am. As the cat, that's my guy. Yeah, that is the heart and soul of the Knicks.
Ewing, Oakley, John Starks. I liked Larry Johnson too. Really.
I love LJ. Oh, yeah. Yep. A lot of heart there, man. I love Dolly. I love Sprewell. I love them all, man.
Sprewell was like one of the first real like thugs that they had on the team. Like this guy didn't give a fuck about nothing. Like, he'd punch a referee if he crossed him.
He choked a coach up.
I remember that. Yeah, that was Jeff Van Gundy.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy guy.
Human.
They dragged his ass, but it's funny. Yeah. There was a lot of fighting back then, but yeah,
a lot. Those were the best times.
But I'm a big Patrick Ewing man.
For sure. All Knicks fans here. All right, last question here. If you could change one character in the Star Wars universe, who and how? That's a loaded question. Huh? Change, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Rey. I would give the character just an ounce more of an interesting story. How I would change her is that I would make it so that her parents used to be Jedi, and that's as simple as it is. Not Obi-Wan Kenobi, not Vader's offspring that no one knew about, not Palpatine's granddaughter. Her parents were just Jedi. That's it. Jedi that were hidden. They were hiding their powers. One day they had to use it. She found out her parents were Jedi. They taught her. Simple as that. Simple as that. Very simple. Nothing crazy. I just didn't need everything so connected. Like it's way too connected. I swear to God, they treat Star Wars like it's Dragon Ball Z, where it's just like, all right, well, clearly you know everything's Goku, right? Like everything's Skywalker. You just gotta loop every fucking thing back to Skywalker. There were other Jedi and Sith and everything else out there. Expand the universe. Expand it. So Rey, and I will not call her a Skywalker. Rey is who I would change. And how is just fucking writing her better. It's really that simple.
Just write the character better. Do better.
Right. Rey was the most interesting in Force Awakens because we knew nothing. So it was like, oh, I can't wait to see like who she is. And then you get one answer where she's nothing. And then you get another answer where she's Palpatine's daughter. And it's like, that's a large gap between just being nothing and one of the greatest Sith Lords of all time's granddaughter.
It was so grandiose that it kind of looped back around to be anticlimactic.
Yes, 100%. So much so, it was just like, wait a minute. Huh? Because in the books, Palpatine did have a son, but the son was just a clone of himself. Mm-hmm. So when I'm watching Rise of Skywalker and I'm looking at a son that looks nothing like Palpatine, I'm like...
So he pulled a Jango Boba?
Yes. Yep. Because remember, he was obsessed with cloning. He was obsessed with it. So Rey is who I would change. Pete, is there anyone in Star Wars that you would change?
Only one character came to mind as soon as you said it.
Who?
And that is Luke Skywalker. I would make it so he is not a murderous fucking professor. That is one of the most despicable character assassinations I have ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Luke would not do that. Period.
Nope.
That's fucking stupid.
Yep.
That is bad writing.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. I try to tell people, Pete, because it's always said, well, if that happened, I could see that Luke would want to. No, Luke 100% would figure out a way to fix it.
Because killing his ass is the path to the dark side in the first place.
And first of all, you're not going to tell me that a Luke, that in the probably most vulnerable time of his life, when he's fighting his father, when he had the best opportunity to kill him, if he wasn't willing to kill his father, who was murdering everyone, you're telling me he was willing to murder a nephew who hadn't done anything yet?
Some little ass twerp. Forget it.
He hadn't even Ben hadn't even done anything yet. He was killing him off the thought that he could become something dangerous. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Wait, no. What? Like, what?
Goes up to him.
What?
He goes up to like a just post-pubescent Ben, and he's like, Ben, I'm sorry, but your pectorals are starting to fuck up the planet's alignment, so we have to kill you.
Yes, I had one bad dream that you might turn into a Sith Lord, so.
Your fucking giant ass chest muscles and just throw it, the fucking whole planet is revolving around you now. We're all stuck in your gravity well on your fucking tits.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's not Luke Skywalker whatsoever.
Really, it's all kidding aside. It's a terrible fucking way to write it. And not for nothing. But all of the writers of the Star Wars, whatever, the post trilogy, they should all be fucking got into a room and somebody should kick them all square in the nuts.
Well, I will say JJ for Force Awakens, that was very well done.
I don't give a fuck who it was. Everyone is to blame. Everyone, because all of them had the opportunity to get. They had all three characters back together. They had Han, Luke, and Leia, and not once did you put all three of them in the same room together. That is a missed opportunity that can now never be repeated because Carrie Fisher is passed.
Yeah,
they are all to blame for that. Every last one of them.
Yeah.
No, all their fault.
I don't disagree with that, but I wouldn't blame Abrams. I would blame Ryan because I assume if Abrams was in charge of part 2, the goal was to bring Luke back
No,
to Leia.
doesn't Abrams still have to answer for that Star Trek II Wrath of Khan fiasco?
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. I'm not a Star Trek fan, so yeah, whatever he
I'm
did.
not
Those
really
movies,
either.
I like those movies.
No, I like the
I'm not a-
first one. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm lying. I'm sorry. The only
I
one
like
I
the first
dislike
two.
is the Idris Elba one.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one either.
I didn't like
That was the third one, right?
But that was, but JJ didn't direct that one.
Yeah, that was
No,
his.
he didn't direct that one at all.
Yeah,
Which
that
is
was the third
funny.
one.
Did you hear, Pete, that they're bringing the cast back, but the cast found out about it like we did. They didn't know. They were just like, "Oh, we're coming back? Oh, so you're not even gonna ask me if I want to
Coming back for like a movie? Coming back for a podcast?
a movie to do another Star Trek movie?
Oh.
I don't know. Joel, is there anybody you would want to change up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as adamant about it. I like Rey's origin. I like both of them. The one where she had nobody, and then the one that she ended up being Palpatine's grand. That both were fine for me. Yeah, I agree about the Luke thing, but I think they could probably be written better and explained better if we had more time, because it literally jumped 30 years, and you're telling me this happened, and there's a whole lot of plot we don't know, you know. But for me, if I had to pick one, Finn. Like, no one got a shorter shaft other than maybe Rose. And then Finn. Like the fuck, what happened, man? Like, I expected him to be. I thought he'd be a Jedi, and they kind of tease it at the end, but they tease it. They don't give it to you, and it's like, it's almost like, why did you even introduce this character? Like, what was the point of it?
Well,
Wasted.
JJ's plan was for him to be a Jedi, but Rian Johnson spent a whole movie with Finn,
Wasted.
Non-existent. So, like, you didn't hone in on anything like that. So then you kind of force JJ to end the trilogy where he has to shoehorn it in. Now, I agree with you. Having him not use the Force at any point where he thought he was going to die the 80 million times in Rise of Skywalker was a little frustrating, and you can blame JJ for that. But JJ giving him the lightsaber at the end of Force Awakens clearly showed that he had an interest in doing something with that. And then Ryan was just like, well, I didn't create Finn, so you're going to sit in the back seat. And
Ryan didn't create anybody.
Right. Well, the girl. Yes.
The Rose. And then he shafted Rose. I'm like, this is not fair, guys. Keep fucking shafting each other's characters.
No, that was JJ's way of saying, you know what? Take that. You didn't want to get Finn screen time. Tell Rose to go sit in the closet somewhere till I decide she can come out.
Rose Tico literally got benched. I'm like, I've never seen the movie before.
JJ disrespected Rose so much, it looked like he almost gave Finn a whole nother love interest. Like Finn met the only other black person he's probably ever seen, and he was just like, yeah, I like her. And Rose was like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? And he's like, I'm sorry, that's JJ. That's how I wrote it. No, I mean, I get what you're saying, Joel, but like I said, a lot of those are still canon. And just reading Luke, I don't think there's any way you could have sliced that cake that would have made sense. Because it's just it's a drastic swerve of the character. He's the ultimate form of hope. So stripping the one thing that defines Luke, I don't know if I would have ever been on board with that.
Problem is, there was at least 50 years or whatever that he was the man, right? Finn got none of that.
No. I completely agree with you. I completely agree.
I feel bad for a character that was created and was wasted as a character that was already the be all end all and kind of got shafted. But I don't feel bad. You know what I mean? I feel bad for Finn. I don't feel bad for Luke.
Right. Well, no, I don't feel. It's not that I feel bad for Luke. It's just that that is probably outside of Vader the most recognizable character. You should not diminish him that drastically. That's just what the fuck.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with Ryan. Ryan tried too hard to change,
which was weird.
I don't know what his agenda was. I enjoyed it though because it really did piss everybody off.
I still to this day don't understand why he didn't just want to do his own trilogy or his own series, something that he can just develop something completely new and different.
If he was supposed to.
Fucking Kathleen. I love you, Kathleen, but goddamn you, Kathleen. I will say for Finn, what I think it really came down to, Joel, was they were sitting in a room, right? And they were just like, all right, guys, we're going to get heat for this movie. But what heat is worse? Black Jedi, that's the lead of a movie, or a female Jedi, that's the lead of a movie. And they were just like, fuck.
You guys were already in there, so you might as well.
They were like, both will really set us back, but I think we can stomach that female angle more.
There's the meme of the guy being thrown out the fucking office window.
Yes. Yes.
Some guy in the back's like, make it a black female, make it a black woman. Right out the
He's
window.
like, get out right now, you get out. Yeah,
Joel will appreciate this. Make it a black female, dick. You're fired. Thank you.
No, but I agree with you, man. Finn, and I don't think John Boyega would be that much interested in it unless maybe Abrams were to do it. But maybe just exploring Finn more in a series would be awesome.
I think that's the way they're gonna go, man. I mean, look at the success of Mando and Boba Fett. I think a series is the way to go. Let Jon Favreau do it because he clearly loves Star Wars.
He does. But what he loves most about Star Wars is the history that it comes from. That's what I appreciate the most about him and Filoni teaming up, is that they appreciate the history. And they try to make everything as accurate as possible. So I really appreciate that. And I'll forever love Filoni always bringing George to the studio. Like, hey, how do you think Luke would do this? And George is like, well, and he's like, all right, fuck you, George. I shouldn't have asked. Sorry. But no, I love what they're doing. And hopefully one day we can just get Star Wars series, like you're saying, that builds up to movies. And that's how we can consume Star Wars going forward.
It's the way it should be. I mean, look how good the series are doing right now. Like, it just makes sense.
All right. Michael Giacchino will direct the 1-hour Disney Plus Halloween special of Werewolf by Night.
That's a rumor, right? That's not official.
No, this is because this is from Illuminati and RPK.
I mean, reliable, but
still a rumor. Yeah, still a rumor. All right. I got nothing to add for
different.
that.
Okay. I'll take it. Yeah. Fuck it. Why not?
Unless that headline states anywhere in there, like Michael Giacchino will direct a 1 hour of Werewolf by Night, but Feige won't be involved in it at all. That's a headline for me. Like, that's something that I go, whoa, hold on. But if you're doing something and Feige's still in the room, I don't care. It should be good. All right. So Pete, we got Fred Hechinger is what I'm calling.
Oh, sounds right.
Is playing Chameleon in the Craven the Hunter movie. What did I say?
Chameleon?
Did I not say Chameleon?
That's not what I heard. I mean, we could have.
All right. I don't even know. I thought that's what I said. All right. Chameleon in Craven the Hunter.
Chameleon.
What do you think?
It seems to be all over the place. So, okay.
I mean, look, I gotta see how this all comes together. Mainly because it's like, well, how are you exploring the two of these characters? A character who always thrives for the great hunt. What is this character of Chameleon going to do that warrants like a really great visual between the two?
Well,
what's
you know
brother,
their history.
Yeah, they're brothers, right?
They're stepbrothers, or half brothers, one of the two.
Right, but I'm saying, is he just going to be a character in the movie or the antagonist?
No, he'll probably be like I would, just going by their relationship alone, he would probably be like the closet antagonist. Like, he's the one kind of pushing Sergei to do these things. And like, he's like that voice in his ear, that devil on his shoulder kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where they're going to go with this. If he's not hunting Spider-Man, what is he doing with himself? Or, I don't see that they need a whole ass movie to build up to this. But, again, if Sony can do this with Kevin Feige's blessing and bring it in then to the MCU, I'd be happy. Or if Sony was going to do this and build it up to their own Miles Morales universe, like, let fucking Marvel do Peter Parker, Tom Holland, and like you have, and like as I just got finished saying earlier in the show, Miles is amazing. He's no pun intended. Miles is a fantastic character. Put him in the Sony spotlight. If you're insistent on making your own cockamamie half-ass movies, at least bring it around so you get a whole ass involved, so to speak.
I think
And the whiskey is flowing, but you know what I mean. Like if you're gonna fucking do it, go full in. Make your own fucking Spider-Man and just do it. Introduce Miles in like maybe the next fucking Spider-Man flick in the MCU. Port him on over, and then every now and then, every fourth or fifth flick, have a crossover. Boom.
I mean, look, I'll say this. Like I said, I didn't hate Venom 1 and 2. I'm waiting to see how I feel about Morbius. 2 is it's solid. That's all I can say.
Wasn't Morbius supposed to be out already?
Numerous times.
Every couple months, yeah.
Right. But April 1st is its new date.
That's
waiting.
clearly not the date. That's April Fool's Day.
Well, if they pull a fast one on us, that would be awesome. Because all of us would go, you know what? We forgot anyway. So who fucking cares? We'll know for sure if tickets go on sale. Tickets go on sale, yeah. That's set in stone. But I'm waiting to see Morbius. If Morbius is done well, then I can stomach whatever they decide they want to do with this Kraven movie. But if the Morbius movie isn't good, like there's just nothing about it that like I can really sink my teeth into.
Really? That's the phrase you're gonna go with?
Well, 100%.
You're gonna tell me that wasn't intended?
100%. Of course it was. Come on now.
Then that's fine.
Then I'm just gonna have to wait for a trailer for Kraven. Like no other news will excite me until I see a trailer.
I'll tell you what, I'm not happy with fucking who they got. I don't like the idea of them fucking taking a dude who was already in the MCU and making him something else. I hate that fucking cross-castination shit. Like,
look, like I said, they apparently, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, they were saying his work on Bullet Train is what blew them away.
I don't give a fuck what he worked on. He was already in the MCU.
I'm just saying.
But the Sony universe is separate.
Right. But I'm also just saying.
Well, that's what we're trying to establish. We don't know yet.
We do. Did you watch Spider-Man? I mean,
yeah.
that's in my opinion, that solidified it. He literally went from the MCU.
So
he got transported to.
It could go in any fucking Spider-Man universe, whichever one they decide at this point, whether it's the MCU,
he literally
whether
left
it's
the one was in,
Toby, or whether it's Andrew.
To the MCU, and then from the MCU got transported back. That's, in my opinion, that already solidified that he's not a part of the MCU. And then in the Morbius trailer, they talk. The only thing that fucks everything up is that Vulture is literally in the Morbius trailer.
Right. So is he like a fucking, one of them Nexus
variants? Like I don't understand. Like,
weird ass Nexus being, that's for sure.
Right. And the main reason why I can accept them utilizing him, even though we've seen him in the MCU, is I've not seen anything that leads me to believe we're ever getting Quicksilver back in the MCU.
I know.
If there was a possibility he could come back and now he's Kraven, then I'm 100% with you. Like, what? You just gonna slam the door on it?
I do have a theory. I mean, Pietro's dead. Period. I don't think Pietro's coming back.
Right.
I do believe there's a chance that Speed, who's his nephew,
right,
will possibly adopt the name Quicksilver in honor.
That makes perfect sense because he never did.
Right, and like that'll give you a Quicksilver without, you know what I mean?
Without being,
without it being Pietro.
I mean, and if we're being honest, I could see him saying like, "Mom, like he has a really cool name. Like, what would my name be?" And her thinking of her brother is just like Quicksilver. I like Quicksilver. And he's just like, all right, fuck it, yeah, sure. Kids like I don't know. All right, fuck it, cool.
Whatever. I think for the next Sony board meeting, they should hire a bad hibachi chef and serve blowfish.
I do believe that they are going to possibly throw Andrew Garfield into that universe and make him be the primary Spider-Man in that.
Right.
That's what it seems like. I just what it seems like. I'm not sure that will.
Him to just do, but I'm saying the reason why I brought up Bullet Train, Pete, was Kraven's actually is obviously a very good fighter, very skilled fighter. The Bullet Train is supposed to be a full-on action movie. Brad Pitt, a whole bunch of people. So I'm like, if whatever you saw in Bullet Train blew you away enough to really consider him for Kraven, I'm very curious the work that they put into making this man Kraven. You know what I'm
Not a
saying?
bad actor or anything. I mean,
No,
he's-
not at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying to visually make him Craven. I'm very curious to see what they do about the language, what they do about the look. I'm just very interested to see how full bore they go, because obviously we've seen Venom and they didn't go full bore. We're still waiting for the day they go full bore with Venom. So I'm like, all right, Craven is a character you don't have to worry about. Like, all right, well, I didn't have Spider-Man, so you couldn't have the cheetah, like the cheetah thing on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how Craven do you go? You know what I'm saying? So I am slightly interested in that.
Craven.
Idiots just heard that half-cocked fucking accent that he did as Quicksilver, and they were like, "That's it. That's the accent. That's perfect."
I will forever say that was a Kevin fuck up that he just decided. If you listen to the Multiverse of Madness trailer, Kevin said, "You know what? Fuck it. It's gone. It's gone. It's just gone. I'm tired of hearing about it. It's gone." And I can't thank him anymore than just to say, that's all we were asking for, Kevin.
Every
It's a
dude in
perfect
Eastern Europe's like, "The fuck is this shit?"
Because I'm like, bro, my problem wasn't that her the accent was bad. The problem was she wouldn't fucking stick to it. It would legit just shift. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, Joel, what are your thoughts on the casting? I know you're not that familiar with the actor, but you thought we would get the character though, right?
Well, it was rumored to be in the movie. Not long ago, it was rumored that he'd be in it. So now they just basically just confirmed it is what they did, and then we got an actor attached to it. Like, well, not long ago they announced that Russell Crowe is in the movie, possibly playing his father. So it's gonna be a family affair at the very least.
I if Russell Crowe really is in this movie, that's good. Again, what did I say from the beginning, Joel? Sony's recipe is a damn good recipe. They go, I know you don't fucking want a Craven movie. I know you don't want a Venom movie. I know you don't want a Morbius movie. But Tom Hardy, Russell Crowe, possibly, Jared Leto, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, they're going after big names that at least make you go,
Yep.
I like the actor.
And look, all these characters you said, Venom, Morbius, Craven. Like, I grew up watching the Spider-Man cartoon. At one point, they all helped Spider-Man. They were all like, they went from villain to anti-hero in the show. I've seen them all do it. And like, I don't know if that's part of, like, because they were all anti-heroes at one point in the comic book as well. Is that the reason? I have no idea. But they obviously, look, we're gonna milk this cow. We're gonna milk it as much as we can, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're just gonna. We don't have all we have is Spider-Man, but we don't want a whole bunch of spiders because that's just redundant. So they're using his villains, and the ones that have been good, they're gonna make good. That's basically what it seems like.
But see, where I will agree with Pete, and then we're gonna move on the Blade and get out of here. Where I will agree with you, Pete, is what Joel's saying would make way more sense if you had a Spider-Man, right?
Well, I think that the plan is to bring in a Spider-Man.
No. I'm saying the way that you could have sold the way that these characters are, Morbius, Craven, and Venom, is if we got to see them actually fight Spider-Man first, and then it's like, well, now they're helping him, and you can sell the anti.
Here's the problem. That's logical. This is not a logical.
Oh, okay. Just as long as we're on the same page, that's fine.
That's why you're upset. You have to stop thinking logically. They're not doing that. You have to look. Remember, they started with Venom, no Spider. That's the Venom we have. Stop thinking like you got to correct it. It's fucked up. Keep going with the fucked up way, and then eventually they might course correct, but never the way we want it. You just have to.
Oh man. I mean, look. Like I said, my only issue, I don't have a problem with you doing a villain verse. My only problem is, it's like, all right, well, now that you've established Venom as an anti-hero, and you're going to establish Craven as an anti-hero, at what point will it make sense for them to actually fight each other? Was my only issue with it. That's my only issue.
I mean, that'd still be really cool, like Venom versus Craven. But I mean,
Oh no, I meant Venom or Craven fighting Spider-Man. Like when you do bring in the Spider-Man, how do you do that?
They're not, because they're not fully good. There's always a reason for all three of them to fight Spider-Man at some point, just because of they're in a bad mood that day. Who fucking knows? You know what I mean? So like you can write it whatever way you want because they're not 100% good characters aside from Spider-Man and whoever else they bring in, like Madam Web. I know you love her. So like it's just there's just a lot of characters they're gonna start bringing in, and we just got to get used to that.
That one I wanted.
Running around and naked in a wheelchair.
That would be the only way to get me to fucking see that movie, Pete.
That would be the
only way. I mean, look, Pete. I'll say again what I said before. The only way to get me to see a Madam Web movie is if you go out and get Meryl Streep and make her Madam Web. That's how you fucking get me to see that movie. That's the only.
Meryl Streep would be perfect for Madam Web.
You threw it into the ether, and Sony's listening.
Look,
they already hired. They already got the girl from fucking 50 Shades of Grey. I thought
that doesn't mean she's playing the same character.
Yeah, she's not going to be that version.
I'm very confused.
There's a different Madam Web than the one that you know from the Spider.
Do you remember Jessica Carpenter, Spider-Woman?
No.
You don't remember? Remember in the old
Iron Man Ultimate Universe?
Huh?
Was that the Ultimate one?
No. Well, she may have been in that, but that's not what I'm talking about. The Iron Man cartoon. Remember the Iron Man cartoon?
Oh gosh, come on, man. That's a lot of fucking drugs ago. I don't remember that. I remember he had the mullet, and I remember Mandarin was green.
Years. You said a lot of drugs ago. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, she was Spider-Woman in that show. She was a spider. She wore a black and white costume. She was Spider-Woman before I even knew who the fuck Jessica Drew was. No
idea.
You don't remember?
I remember the show vaguely. I watched it every now and then. Like I said, he had a mullet. Mandarin was green for some inexplicable reason.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Mandarin was not only green, he was legit the only fucking villain the entire run of the show. Like, goddamn. Every episode I kept thinking I was watching reruns. Like, no, that's
he was the Skeletor of Iron Man. Yeah.
Goodness gracious, man. It just was like you're not even trying anymore.
Go back and rewatch that cartoon.
You said
I remember it fondly. Oh, it's Julia Carpenter. I take it back. I apologize. Either way, though, Julia Carpenter was Spider-Woman, and she eventually took over as the Madam Web in the comic books, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they could go a different route.
Wait, I have a vague recollection of this when in Amazing Spider-Man they did that storyline, like the Gathering of Five or something with the Green Goblin when he wanted to achieve like omniscient intelligence or something. He wanted to know everything, literally. And I think one of the girl that was involved in that became another Madam Web. I may be completely
that might be it. Because she's old and crusty, right?
Right,
she has a disease and she's a psychic, right? So she eventually transfers her abilities to Julia, who also has some type of psychic power. She don't have regular spider powers like everyone else either. So it's like she eventually moves, she becomes Madam Web. That's what I mean. So maybe she's a version of that. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, my memory is very foggy on that. That's a while ago.
Look,
but I vaguely remember.
I remember her from the cartoon because I grew up with that fucking cartoon. I remember like Scarlet Witch was in War Machine, Iron Man, Spider-Woman.
Yeah, there was mad guest appearances, and still they didn't manage to get Wolverine in there. They got fucking Storm and Beast. What?
Yeah, they were in the Fantastic Four thing too. They weren't like they had just cameos. They literally they were in the rooftop somewhere.
Right. As Joel's saying this, I swear by that Iron Man show, and I don't remember any of that shit.
It's on Disney Plus.
Any of it?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
I will never go back to that show now. Now, if Joel can find me those specific episodes, I'll watch that. But to watch,
they're in every episode. Like I swear to God, I remember them in every episode.
All right, you know what? I'll watch the first 5 episodes, see if I see them in there.
Hawkeye was on it too, right? Yeah, Hawkeye was in it too.
Hawkeye was in it.
Oh, maybe I will have to watch that.
And then they got a. I used to think it was Vision. It wasn't Vision. It was a hologram. What was his name? Homer, some shit like that. Oh, some
Yeah, because
shit.
it was an acronym for something.
Yeah, it looked like I thought it was Vision because at the time I only knew White Vision. You know, that's the first Vision I knew was the White Vision. So I thought that might have been, but it wasn't. They called him something else.
You know what we need to see next time we see Vision? Now that we've had regular Vision and White Vision, you know the meme that was going around of Vision, like where he had the turtleneck with the gold chain on. We need Black Vision.
Sean.
We need Black Vision.
Oh my god, Vision in
Black
blackface. What are you
Yes,
doing?
yes, we need to do it. We need to do Blackface, Black Vision to meet White Vision. Well, he has to be in Blackface. White Vision's in Whiteface.
Yeah,
No one ever says anything about
they don't
that.
call him White Vision. That's just how we describe it to compare the two. Because one is a white and one is like colorful, red, green, yellow, whatever. They don't actually call him White Vision.
I'm just picturing the first time Wanda sees him again. Oh, White Vision, it's you. And it's like, what the fuck did you call me? Like, White Vision.
White Viz? Is that you?
All right. So Aaron Pierre has been cast in Marvel's Blade. Joel, we know Aaron from our time watching Krypton.
Yeah.
That's what we know Aaron.
Yeah, he was one of the Zods. Right?
One of the House's odds. Again, let me choose my words carefully. I don't care about any casting because once you told me Mahershala is in it, nothing else really fucking matters. Everything else, unless you're telling me a character that I didn't expect is going to be in this movie, everything else is just par for the course. It's just par for the course. It was like once I accepted Robert Pattinson as Batman, and then you were just like, all right, well, how about I put Colin Farrell as just, bruh, once you sold me on Batman, I don't give a fuck who you put in this movie. It's fine.
Oh,
it's fine.
He was Dev M. That's who he was playing. Oh wow, didn't know.
Yeah. Now I will say, did you, Joel? Because I know me and Pete probably don't. But did you have a theory on who he could be playing?
I have no idea. But by looking at him, I'm like, wouldn't he be a cool Dracula or something?
He's got the look for Dracula.
Right? The eyes, those eyes.
Are you looking at the post from Instagram that I put up, Pete?
No, I just Googled his name real quick.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like the photo that Kanan has up on Twitter that I use for Instagram. He looks like Dracula right there. Like he looks, you know what he looks like actually? That looks like the same face that Eddie Murphy gave us in Vampire in Brooklyn. That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. So I'm like, yeah, he's perfect for it. So I don't have any idea because I'm going to be honest with you. My Blade knowledge extends from the animated series in some comics. So I'm not that knowledgeable on Blade. Not all that knowledgeable on Blade. I love that anime series though. I fucking swear by it. That was such a great.
And I still haven't seen the anime series. I only knew Blade from the like, this is my story every time I talk about Blade, but I only knew him from the Spider-Man cartoons. And then he got his own movie. I'm like, holy shit.
Like people must have loved that cartoon.
I was so shocked. I'm like, how did he get a movie before Spider-Man? Like I didn't understand it. I was holy, but no one knew who the fuck he was. So I'm like, I can't wait to go see it because I'm like, I know who he is, and he looks cooler in the movie than he did in the cartoon.
Right.
And except they didn't give him his laser sword. Not that I knew that wasn't a thing, but but in the cartoon,
probably because it couldn't be a real sword in the cartoon.
Right? Yeah, it's so stupid shit. But dude, though, like that movie was fucking awesome. The first, I remember walking in, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I went in there with like my little cousin and my other adult cousins, and they're like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I don't know, but this is insane. And I apologize because I did not expect it to be a bloodbath to start the movie. So like,
gracious,
holy shit,
like murder. Like,
I'm just off on like a mental tangent here for a second. And Joel, I was paying attention to you, but I couldn't help but think like when you said laser sword, And like obviously they couldn't have a regular sword in the cartoon because they're like, oh, children will get their parents' kitchen knives and be stabbing each other. But like you know that there was like one or two some really smart kids that like stole their mom's engagement ring and was like holding that shit up to the fucking lamplight and just boring a hole through their little brother's skull with a fucking diamond tip laser beam. Like, yo, I got this shit. Cartoons is onto
Figure
something.
it out.
Lasers.
I used to think that worked. Like, I mean, it does work, but really slowly with the whole fucking magnifying.
You need quite a few diamonds, unfortunately.
That too, yeah. It's not exactly, but yeah, the lightning, like the same thing with Morbius and the suction cup hands. I didn't know that wasn't a thing until
that's way more horrifying than just a vampire.
Yeah, that was weird.
Fuck that! No.
Yeah, it was awkward. It was like, ooh, that's nasty. Yeah, he was really
plasma. I crave plasma. Like, no, that's way creepier than saying like I like to drink blood. It's fine.
Yeah, but like not a couple episodes after that, fucking Blade's mother's out there sucking on necks. I'm like, what? But Blade, but fucking Morbius couldn't. Like, I don't. It doesn't make no sense.
So weird.
I love you guys. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So to me, yes, Spider-Man was the first time I saw Blade, but as far as my knowledge of anything from that world, it's the few books and, like I said, the anime series. You got the anime series for Iron Man, Wolverine, and Blade were legendary.
The only one that I saw was I see them all except Blade. I definitely. It's nowhere to be seen though. Like if I could watch on Netflix like the other ones,
I think next time I come over, I might bring my Xbox. I think I have them all on my Xbox. I bought them all.
They want to try Tubi. Tubi's good for that shit.
Blade anime. I think I saw the first episode and that was it.
Actually, no, because what Tubi does is because Tubi had the G.I. Joe animated movie.
Yeah, it's got a lot of old school cartoons.
And then it took it off. Like it just disappeared.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? Now I gotta spend $5 to buy it from Amazon? How dare you? Like that movie is nowhere to be lost.
I watched the Blade TV show, the live action one with Sticky Finger. That was terrible, by the way. but they referenced Moon Knight, and the fight scenes actually got better at the last episode when they canceled it. It was really fun.
Yeah, I always bring up that show when people tell me how horrible season 1 of Iron Fist was. Bitch, did you see Blade? Did you see Blade?
I didn't even watch it.
Like, did you not see Blade?
I was into it, even though he looked different than I'm used to. But bro, I was on TV.
What did they used to call that channel before? Was it Spike? The Spike channel?
The Spike.
It was the Spike channel, right? Yeah, that's. Oh my God! By the way, Jimmy Kimmel, you are a lucky son of a bitch, and this is why. And we're getting out of here. That man show you used to do with your friend back in the day, you would be canceled today for that shit.
Oh, they can never get away with that shit. You're way too soft to tolerate that.
Right. He is very lucky that it is almost impossible to look up any episodes of that fucking show.
Really?
I used to love that show. But
that was a great show. But remember, Spike TV used to stand for explosions, boobs, and violence. Right.
Yeah, it was the man channel.
Right. It was the man channel. You always saw 1,000 Ways to Die, and they always
love that show. I still love that show.
It was awesome, right? It was for men. And then it was just like they stopped it right before it became a problem. So right before the world would have canceled Spike TV, they were just like, oh.
Well, Spike TV was a show of itself.
They saw the trend. They're like, they're not going to let us have this for any longer.
Yeah, they saw it trending this way. Yeah, they say they saw it going.
You gotta bail now before we get sued for it.
Yeah. That's when we should have just started punching people in the fucking face, because if they're like, well, you can't do that on television. Yeah, we can.
See, and this is why this is one of the reasons why I love Spike TV. This is one of the reasons why I love Spike TV so much. They always would have at midnight their Girls Going Wild advertisements. And it would just loop to like 3 a.m. And I used to go, all right, I'm not sleeping. like, order now. Yes, sir.
I was a big fan of GGW. I will tell you right now.
Yeah, it was not much to do. They had the scrambled porn.
Yeah.
You had the Girls Gone Wild.
Or you had the
Howard
very
Stern.
very horrible Cinemax.
Cinemax. If you had the channel, yeah.
Skinemax.
Yeah, where it would give you
Cinemax.
like story, and I'm like, I don't think you know why I'm here.
Even though HBO would do it, not like Skinemax, but HBO would
No,
definitely have
HBO
movie on.
created the greatest adult show ever, and that was when they gave Katie Morgan her own show, where she was teaching about the history of sex.
I remember that.
That was the greatest thing. Fuck a Game of Thrones.
HBO
That
did
was
have
the-
HBO had real sex. The show was
Real
called
sex.
Real Sex in the 90s.
Yes, they
Oh,
did.
That was
The fact
wild.
that- First
That
of all,
was
no one ever
wild.
gives her credit. The fact that she did that show completely naked in heels,
I remember
30
that.
minutes,
I remember that.
every episode.
100% creditor. It was an
Thank
awesome
you,
show.
Katie Morgan.
But back in the day, you had to like sneak those shows in. It was like you can't just watch it willy nilly.
100%. Because whenever you watch that show, it would be her going, "Welcome to an all new episode," and then it's just right into sex. And it's like, I had my TV up, Katie. You gotta warn me, bro.
Should have lowered that volume, man. You should have known
I
better.
can't tell you how many times I fell asleep watching a movie or something on HBO and woke up to somebody fucking. I was like, I gotta change the channel. I think. Do I? Everybody's sleeping.
You just gotta lower the volume.
I can see
Oh,
Joel
wow.
now. Like, do I have time before someone notices and comes? Like, I got like a good 10
I
minutes.
didn't plan for this, but fuck it.
We're here now. We're here now.
Yeah.
So gonna get
That's it, man.
kicked.
I'm
Anyway,
way too drunk to go on.
last thing I wanted to tell you, Joel, was because you were saying you haven't played it in so long. There's a lot about Uncharted that like you couldn't remember. I was watching because I told you I'm watching. Right. No. Right. Of course. I told you I was watching 1 through 4, all the cutscenes, and I just found out because I kept saying to myself in my head, like, she looks familiar. Chloe. She's really from the game, and she is a love interest of Nathan.
Yeah. Yes. I do.
but
I
I'm
just don't
very-
remember what she looks like. But I don't. I do know her. Yes.
Can I
She
be
is
honest with you? Not much different than the actual actress.
I like that.
Like, not at all. So I'm very interested to see when Nate's actual wife at some point in the series comes into the movies.
Well, it was when he was 32 when he met her. So so we'll see if.
But
they
you know
push
what's
that
even more
forward.
frustrating about that, Joel? He met Chloe when he was older, and he met her, and he was having something with both of them during at the same time.
Yeah, but he wasn't committed to until later that he committed to
Right, that he fully
Elena,
committed.
I think it was. But it's funny about Chloe because the last game that they did with Uncharted was with Chloe as the main protagonist.
Yep.
Her and some other chick that I think she was also in one of the games. I just don't remember.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't give it a chance. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to say it's bad, but
just off the artwork, I was like, "Yep, nope, not playing. I don't see Nathan in it."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to tell you while it was in my head because I'm like, oh, okay, she's like an actual character. So and I told you before, a lot of that movie is in the actual game, down to the auction. And Nathan's job being to shut the lights off and everything, and then having to escape. Spot on, great. But all right, guys, go check out Uncharted. It's doing great numbers in the box office right now. And please, the reason why I'm saying go check it out now this week is because Batman comes out next week, and Uncharted will die, and I mean die hard. So please go check it out. There's a reason why there's not many movies, if any, in the month of March. It's a Batman month. That shit's gonna run its full course from the 1st to the 31st. So please see Uncharted, help it make as much money as possible, so we can get a Mission Impossible meets Indiana Jones for at least 6 to 7 more movies.
Yeah,
So
he's still young enough to carry that franchise. So
100%.
we can see the full evolution of Nathan Drake and the Sully, and I mean that's pretty cool if they could pull it off because that movie was way better than I expected.
100%. And just last thing, I'm sorry, really quickly, Joel, when we were saying all right, they did the big stunt, what else can you do? I forgot that either 2 or 3 opens with that train scene where he wakes
2.
up bleeding.
2.
You said who?
I think 2. I think it was.
Oh, 2. Sorry, I'm sorry. 2. And that was a huge bouncing around and then just.
I'm not saying they can't. I just how are they gonna do it out of order? They can't do that plane scene again because that had happened in the third game. So you can't redo it again later on. I mean, what a coincidence.
But look, Look, like we said, they put all their chips in the middle and it worked. That movie is making a lot of money. So look, if you got to do it out of order to keep this thing afloat, you do what you got to do.
Well, like I said, they teased the first game at the end of that movie. So like the plot.
Right.
So, let's see.
We'll see. But I want to thank Pete. I want to thank Joel for joining me on this episode of Figure It Out. And again, a massive shout out to JD, the happily newly married man. Congrats. And it's a good thing you were getting married and not being a part of this show, because this.
Where are your priorities, man? You could have got married in the day, came on the show at the night.
Yeah, for the it's on his honeymoon already.
Joel, that was the worst sex music ever. Why was it so
really
fast?
I thought that was like banging against, like the headboard banging against the wall. I thought that was the sound effect for that.
That's what it was. It wasn't
Oh,
music.
okay, see, I got it.
Like
Right.
your sex music was so fast. Like
It wasn't music. It was a sound effect.
Ah, gotcha.
Are you ready for the best sex of your life? No, perfect.
Awesome. I now can give you manageable. But shout out to
those expectations low.
Lower them. But shout out to listener Jim for the questions. We appreciate them. They were great questions, and we spun up.
Thank you, listener Jim.
We spun up a good conversation on it. So
Take some more. Keep it coming.
Thanks for watching. I have to thank anybody that watches us talk and asks questions. I really appreciate you so much.
The show we just dropped today, Joel, did good numbers that we just dropped. People were commenting.
They asked questions.
Yeah, no, a lady came on and was saying that her son's a huge fan, so he talked her into going to go see it, and she couldn't watch the whole thing because we spoiled a lot of it. But she said she wants to come back and then finish our video once she's seen it. So I'm cool. Like, that's awesome. We had a few people comment on there. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't know if we'll do a Figure It Out next week. Tuesday we'll be seeing the Batman. Wednesday I'll be recovering from the Batman. Thursday I'll be seeing it again. So yeah, I don't know.
A full week.
It'll be a Bat week. So we'll have shows, like me and Joel will probably do our show Monday. So we'll see what happens. Right. We'll see, because me and Joel did talk about Pete maybe coming on here and doing a show maybe Tuesday or Wednesday and doing a non-spoiler review of the Batman. To kind of
I probably won't see it by then, so just let me know, whatever.
Yeah, it'll be a non-spoiler. Like we won't spoil anything.
I will promise there'll be a lot of this probably, but that's about it.
It'll probably be a lot of me doing this, but I'll get that all out in the theater, so don't worry. Anyway,
Save it for home. Your father will be there.
Look, I'm sorry. Did you see the? Oh, Joel, you don't watch it, but Pete, did you see the clip that dropped today of the Batman?
No, I'm not trying to watch anything more. When I go see it, I'll go see it.
Oh, okay. I saw it by accident. Was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna watch it.
I know I'm gonna go see it. I am looking forward to it. I just haven't got my tickets yet, but I'll get them.
All right. And look, if the rumors are true, stay tuned. Me and Joel will be doing a trailer breakdown of Thor: Love and Thunder. It's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Really? Is it official?
This week? No.
You don't know yet.
It's not official.
No.
Maybe.
Not official. This is a hot.
It's been maybe since Monday.
No, but remember when I told you I heard Valentine's
Sunday. Well, right. Yeah, but like this week is like, yo, it's dropping tomorrow. That's been 3 days now.
Yeah. Valentine's Day would have made sense.
Would have made a lot of sense.
We'll
see. We'll see. It'll break the internet whenever it does, and we'll review it. But till then, guys.
Congrats, JD. Love you, brother.
Yes, congratulations.